congratulations for receiving the Trailblazer Award for CIRA.
Thank you so much.
Let's take a minute and talk about who Leigh Riley Evans really is.
Okay.
So if you would, share with us your current responsibilities at your current job.
Okay, currently I serve as the Executive Director for Mapleton Fall Creek Development Corporation, which is an independent nonprofit organization that serves 6 neighborhoods in the mid-north area of Indianapolis. And so our role is connecting neighborhood partners so that we can invest, help, and serve those residents and those businesses to preserve affordable housing and just to impact a quality of life that is better for all of them to live life according to their visions and the assets that they provide to the community.
And how long have you been at this position?
I was hired in November of 2011.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what positions did you hold before you entered into this current position?
All of my positions of employment have been related to nonprofit administration, some organizational development that improved the community. And so I've been organizing and doing comprehensive community development all of my adult life with a slant toward social justice and homelessness prevention. And so this current role helps me incorporate all of my interests in fundraising and community building and housing into an area where I have lived and grown up and played all of my life too. Having lived there, I moved into the neighborhood, well, my parents moved into the neighborhood when I was 7. So in 1978, they bought their home in the Mapleton Fall Creek neighborhood. And it's just been amazing for me to live in a space that I've always felt safe and enriched and wanted to be there. And as I noticed that others' perception of that space wasn't the same, it helped motivate me to change that perception and make my reality other people's reality. Because there have always been tremendous assets in the community, but as people's interests and preferences changed, so did their perception of the neighborhood.
Yes,
right.
You actually saw the changes that took place.
Right.
And then now you say, hey, I am part of that change.
And
I'm ahead of it
exactly.
now.
I love being able to help lead those efforts and kind of blaze the trail for what I know others envision and as a possibility too.
Okay. Your bio also describes you as a change agent. So what does that mean, and how is that meaningful to you?
It means not always being stopped by the problem. And so I focus on the resolution of a conflict, not just the problem. And so for me, it's figuring out who else I need to talk with and help convene the conversations around what collaborations we need to focus on and to manage the change, whatever that change is. If it's a matter of encouraging people to collect rainwater, or if it's a pattern of encouraging people to plant a tree, or helping people understand that just because you are of less wealth or you have less income doesn't mean that you don't want the same things as someone that has a lot more income. We should all have access to quality, affordable housing. We should all have access to good food. We should all be able to walk safely down our streets. And so I want to help be an agent of the change that encourages us to have a quality of life that's shared. We all want what I call the H's. We want hot water, health, and housing. And so I want others to express their interest in making that possible for everyone, regardless of their income, regardless of their zip code. We should have access to an equitable life.
Well said, well said. So I also read in your bio that you were recognized by CHEP with a Trailblazer Award. So tell us about that initiative and what that means.
So that was an initiative from IUPUI, and so it's Community Health Engagement Partnership Award. And so our organization worked with the Department of Anthropology at IUPUI to just highlight how we could change quality of life in the Mid-North neighborhood, paying attention to the fact that your access to food, your access to public space, your access to parks could determine how long you were living in a certain zip code. And what you could do in terms of your diabetes or your obesity and just your quality of health. And so they recognized our partnership several years ago when we started to talk about the disparity in how long people lived depending on the zip codes that you lived, and highlighting that if you lived in in the mid-north area, you were living probably 10 or 12 years of a shorter life than if you lived in the northern part or the southern part of the county. I think it's more important to be collaborative than to compete.
All right.
And so we can get a lot more done if we work together. And so I want to bring people together. I like making connections and trying to figure out what gifts you have that can support the needs of another.
Placekeeper.
That is celebrating where we are, not always trying to make it different, not always trying to fix it. We often hear about placemaking.
Yes.
And so I want to encourage people to celebrate the history and to enhance that. So it's keeping the place. And so it's recognizing the assets of the people and the places and not just trying to have it be something different.
Okay, and last but not least, community partner.
It kind of relates to the other two.
Yeah, it does.
And just highlighting how we can work together.
I looked up a definition of trailblazer. The trait that you picked was only say yes to what you intend to do. Your intentions determine your results.
Well, I think there is so much that you could do. I mean, what is it that sets your hair on fire? And so that's going to cause you to action. And so instead of being pulled in many different directions and not being able to provide a quality result, I try to be very intentional about how I spend my time. It doesn't mean that I don't do several things, but I want to make sure whatever I do, I am able to do it well and with intention so that I can be dependent upon to get it done in the future and work toward actually implementing a change for whomever it is that I'm working with. And so I encourage people just to make sure that they're clear about what direction that they want to take and not be afraid to say no. It is a complete sentence. And so saying yes to what you know and feel good about and gives you pleasure in order to make a difference is why that spoke to me about being a trailblazer. There are multiple ways that we can make a difference in this world or what trail to go down, but just being clear that you can make a difference and you can make a very impactful difference in a very small or sometimes in a very large way if you're clear about how you spend your time and what you say yes to. Well, understand that you don't have to do it all and that whatever you choose to do it well.
Leigh, with that,
Thank
congratulations again.
Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.